On Big Jon Steel's stream, a Muslim says Islam is true because Allah has no contradictions. So Big Jon introduces Gibbleglorp, the contradiction-free space god. Evidence? His live stream. Missionary applications now open.
The problem is you're using Christianity to prove Islam. Do you need Christianity to prove Islam?
No problem. It's called a.
Do you need Christianity to prove Islam?
No, I don't. It's called an eternal.
Okay, then do it without Christianity.
What? It's called an internal critique, so I can't do an internal critique.
Okay, Christianity's false. Now prove me of Islam.
Yeah, I'm not claiming the entirety of Christianity is false, though.
I am. I just did. The entire thing is false. The entire thing's false. I haven't been convinced of any religion. Convince me of Islam.
Yeah, you're already a Christian, though, right? So I don't know why you're playing an atheist.
It's called granting for the sake of argument.
Yeah, but you're a Christian, though.
What I'm trying to say is that Muslims never have actually an argument for Islam without going to Christianity. This is the whole point. This is the reason I do this live. Is that you guys cannot back up your religion without talking about Christianity. And for some reason you think hold on, let me finish. For some reason you guys think disproving Christianity automatically assumes that Islam is true. And I'm not going into those arguments anymore.
Okay, no problem. When I came up, I said that God isn't a contradiction, right? But when we look at other religions, we clearly see God being a contradiction.
Okay, fine. Gibbleglorp is a singular god, and all you have to do is say Gibbleglorp is awesome, and you will be saved. Show me the contradiction.
What?
Gibbleglorp is a singular god, and all you have to do to be saved by Gibbleglorp is say Gibbleglorp is awesome. If you do that, you will be saved. Show me the contradiction.
Okay, who's Gibbleglorp, bro?
Gibbleglorp is the god of the universe.
Okay, prove it.
No, that's my point. Your whole argument is Islam is true. Hold on. Your whole argument is that Islam is true is because there's no contradiction. I just gave you a God without contradiction. Hold on, let me finish.
No.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. You said Islam is true because it's a God with no contradiction. Well, I just gave you a God with no contradiction, so therefore Gibbleglorp is true.
No, because that's just what you made up, right? You said Gibbleglorp.
How do you know I made it up? How do you know I'm not a prophet of Gibbleglorp?
What? Bro, why are you playing an atheist, dude?
Why? How do you know I'm not a prophet of Gibbleglorp?
Okay, so if I say Bobby is the Christian God, right? Prove Bobby isn't the Christian God, right? What would you do?
I would go through the historical evidence of Jesus Christ. This is what you guys do all the time. It's called whataboutism.
Wait. Historical evidence?
Yeah. Now you're shifting the goalpost because you don't have any evidence for Islam.
Yes, because this is just stupid argument, right?
It's not a stupid argument. Your argument is that Islam is true.
Wait.
Hold on. Your argument is Islam is true is because there's no contradiction in your God, right?
Yes. And
okay, there's no contradiction in Gibbleglorp, so Gibbleglorp is true.
Dude, let me finish. I'm talking about.
Hold on. I haven't landed my plane. You're jumping in the middle of my point and saying let me finish. Your argument is that Islam is true because there's no contradiction. Well, there is no contradiction in Gibbleglorp, so Gibbleglorp is true.
Yeah, but we have to look at if Gibbleglorp, right, actually revealed something in Revelation or something that we can look back at, right? Where's your evidence for that?
Right now, Gibbleglorp just did it through me. I'm a prophet of Gibbleglorp.
Yeah. This would just be something subjective, right? I can say I got revelation from Jesus, therefore. Right, Jesus says he's not God, right?
Right, I agree. Yeah, it's a terrible argument. So if your argument is there is no contradiction, and that's all the evidence you got, then yeah, it's a terrible argument. So do you have any more evidence for Islam?
Wait. Okay, John, do you affirm that God by definition can be a contradiction?
No, God cannot be a contradiction.
Okay, exactly. That's my point. We're talking about the ontological.
Okay, well, I gave you Gibbleglorp. Gibbleglorp's not a contradiction, so Gibbleglorp is God.
Yes, but you're just making something up, right? We're going by.
How do you know I'm making it up?
Yes, because it's something that's created, right? It's just.
How do you know it's created? How do you know I'm not a prophet of Gibbleglorp?
Oh my God! We're just gonna play semantics, right?
So yes, I play semantics. That is an important thing in debate because semantics is the investigation of meaning.
Yes, because it's something you just made up.
Semantics? I didn't make up semantics.
No. I'm talking about Gibbleglorp being God.
Okay, and prove I made up Gibbleglorp.
Yes, because we have no evidence for Gibbleglorp.
Okay, then show me the evidence for Islam.
Yes, the evidence is found within the Quran, right?
What does that mean? Found in the Quran. How do I know Muhammad didn't make up the Quran?
It means that this necessary being revealed a revelation claiming to be God, right? Now, can you show me where your so-called God, right, Gibbleglorp, gave a revelation claiming to be God?
Right now, through me.
No, yes, I do not care for you. That's something that's subjective.
So Allah gave his message 4,000 years, or whatever, 4,000 years ago through Muhammad. Gibbleglorp gave his message right now through me. What's the difference?
I agree, but we're talking about scripture, right?
Why does it have to be in the form of a book?
Yes, because it has to be universal, right? Or is it just
no? Why? You're just saying it has to be. Why?
Wait. Yeah, you're getting big, John. Or is it just through you and only you know?
It's through me and only me right now. That's the revelation came through on video.
Okay, then that's just subjective, dude.
Why? What's the difference between? Hold on. Let me show you the analysis, the comparison. What is the difference between Gibbleglorp giving his revelation through me right now on video versus giving it through Muhammad in a book?
Yeah, because that's something subjective that you're claiming, right?
You're just saying it's subjective. What's the difference? Give me the symmetry breaker.
We know that when God reveals something, right, it must be a universal message, right?
Why?
You're claiming. What do you mean, why?
You're just saying it has to be a universal message. Why?
Yes, because of judgment, right? We do we get our morality from God?
Who says there has to be judgment? There's no judgment in Gibbleglorp.
Wait, hold on. Do we get our morality from God, or our morality just subjective?
Morality is purely subjective. Why not?
Oh my God, dude. Okay, have a good day, bro. This
Bro, you don't have an argument. That's your point. You're asking me.
Yes, I do.
You're asking me to make a bunch of presuppositions. Hold on. You're asking me to grant you a whole bunch of things to prove your religion. Your religion has nothing, has no argument, no basis for it whatsoever. The only thing that you guys have, the only thing any Muslim has, is I can disprove Christianity, therefore Islam is true. That's all you got. Now, if you want to run on that, that's what people are going to recognize. Go ahead.
Okay, can I have noetic justification, right?
Can you have what?
Of your godless deity. Noetic justification.
What do you mean?
Right, in terms of philosophy, right? For a belief to be justified, it must be true, believed, or justified, right?
Okay.
Do you agree?
Okay, I gave you the exact same standard that you gave me.
Okay. No problem. I'm giving it to you. So even if a speaker believes in, what you're going to Gibbleglorp is true, right? You have no evidence.
Put some respect on the name.
Wait. You have no external coherence, no semantic content, right? Which in my paradigm is what we call the Quran, right? So do you have anything, right, that we can physically check, right?
This video.
Accessible to everybody. That's accessible to everybody.
This video. This is recorded. Video? Yes, it's recorded.
Okay, so can everyone access this video?
Yes, it's on YouTube.
Okay, let's say Africans who have no internet, can they access your video?
Can people who live off? Hold on. If this is your argument, right? Before you giggle and think that you're so confident, listen. Can people who live in other continents who don't know how to read have access to the Quran?
Yes.
How?
Yes. Yeah, because they're made into physical books, right?
But how, if they don't know how to read, how do they have access to the Quran?
Yeah, we have what we call preachers who give dawah.
Okay, cool, phenomenal. Everybody in the chat, you guys are my preachers. Go preach the word of Gibbleglorp. Done. Problem solved.
Okay, can you say Gibbleglorp is my God right now?
Gibbleglorp is my God.
All right, go. I'm gonna drop that one. This guy's a.
You're running.
It was nice talking to you.
No problem, man. Hey, no problem. Take your runners and show us that there is no valid reason for Islam. See ya. God bless.
Okay, John. The reason why I'm going is because you're claiming to be Christian, but then you're affirming an imaginary God. What?
How do you know it's imaginary?
Yeah, because you made it up, right?
How do you know I made it up? How do you know I didn't get a revelation from Gibbleglorp?
Yes, because you're a Christian, right?
I'm a follower of Gibbleglorp.
No, okay. Do you affirm Jesus to be God?
I affirm Gibbleglorp.
Okay, say Jesus isn't God right now. Oh, why not? Say it.
Because obviously we're arguing arguing a rhetoric, and you won't attack the rhetoric because you have no argument for Islam.
Wait.
Hold on. Okay, then what is your argument for Islam? Okay, hold on. What is your argument for Islam? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm talking about the ontological identity of God, right? Of necessary being, right? If you're claiming that Gibbleglorp is a necessary being, right? Yes. Then we have to evaluate it, right?
Gibbleglorp's a necessary being.
Okay, now prove it.
You prove Allah.
Yes, I have. Yes, I am proving it
How?
through the Quran. Yes.
How does the Quran prove it?
Yes.
How does the Quran prove it?
Wait. Hold on. Because the Quran is the direct speech of this natural being, right?
Prove
you're
it.
claiming to have. Wait, hold on. Yes, I'm going to prove. You're claiming that Gibbleglorp, right? Spoke through you, right? Which we cannot access, right? It's just a claim.
How do you know that Allah spoke through Muhammad?
Wait, hold on. Yes, but it was put in a book, right? We have evidence to prove it. You don't.
What
right?
evidence? Show me the evidence. That's the whole point of my argument. Is I'm asking for the evidence. Give me the evidence. That is the whole point of my rhetoric. So give me the actual evidence, bro. Let's go.
Dude. I gave you the Quran, right? Scripture, right?
I have the Quran right beside my toilet. It didn't prove me anything.
Okay, hold on. I'm talking about necessarily being a contradiction, right? That's what we're talking about. You're just making claims. Gibbleglorp, spoke to me.
Gibbleglorp is not a contradiction. If your only argument is that Islam believes in a God that isn't a contradiction, then you have a whole bunch of problems because there's a whole bunch of religions that believe in a God that isn't a contradiction.
No, it's not, because you affirm that contradictions are things, right? Are they things? Do they exist?
Say it again.
Do contradictions exist?
No, contradictions do not exist.
Okay, that's what I'm
arguing. Right?
Yes,
but the point. No, listen, Linda. Listen, you moron, you idiot, you buffoon. Listen, pay attention. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. If your only argument, hold on, watch this. There you go. If your only Okay, watch. Okay, if your only argument is there is no contradiction, therefore it's true, is going to be a huge problem, because I can give you lots of logical things that have no contradictions, therefore it's not true. For example, I could say pixies push planets together. That's how gravity works. There's no contradiction. That doesn't mean it's true. Now you keep saying, well, we have evidence. It's the Quran. Well, show me the evidence. Now, if you're not scared, you're more than welcome to come back up.